Okay, welcome to Coffee Habit number 2. This is the Chit Chat part 2, and that's Alka-Seltzer. I'll pick that up later after this frizzes out. Alright, so I owe Mr. Maddison 2 stories, but you're going to get 3. Okay, so very long time ago, before I took Taekwondo, there was a young man in Smithfield. His name was Corey. I do not remember his last name. Shout out to Corey. And Corey was a boxing fanatic. Well, I did karate. The lesson that I learned in here is that don't volunteer for an ass whooping. Okay? So this is the story I'm going to tell first. Alright? And to Corey, all is forgiven. I don't know if you've forgotten me or if you remember me, but all is forgiven. But I'm going to tell the story as I recall it, which is the truth. My bro Lloyd was there, leaving off last names on purpose because most people don't acknowledge you after a certain period of your time, and I haven't spoke to Lloyd, who was my best friend forever, until we never saw each other because my dad never came back to Smithfield. Anyway, shout out to Lloyd. May his life be well, and may I drink this Alka-Seltzer and not die. Lemon flavor, y'all. Don't get that regular. Excuse me. Okay. So, 14 years old. And this happened not too long after I almost died from dating a girl who was dating a 23-year-old. So we're boxing in the back. I am not a boxing fan. Right off the bat, this is how I learned how to box the hard way, by taking a beating from Corey. So, we in Miss Ruffin's backyard. We got posts written up, and we got like rope, but it's not real rope. And it's not the rope that you actually find in wrestling, because that's actually wire and elastic or whatever. So we're in a fucked up ass boxing ring, and we have gloves on. And this was the rules. Corey set the rules. I couldn't use my feet. I could only box him. Me, being the dumbass that I am, and male pride, it's like, okay, we'll do this shit, because I know how to fight. Yeah, I know how to fight. That wasn't the issue. What I don't know how to do is box. I know you're all thinking, how the fuck do you know how to fight, but you don't know how to box? There is a big difference between knowing how to fight and knowing how to box. And before anybody gets on here and tells me I'm wrong, fuck you. Fuck the ship you're coming in on. Fuck your mother. And fuck her next to that fire over there with Ezekiel. Now, we got that out the way. Like I said, you can talk yourself into a fight. You can't talk yourself out. I didn't talk myself into this. I just volunteered to box him because he thought he was hot shit. Me and my kung fu mentality also thought that I was hot shit. See, I can admit when I'm wrong. Alright? But there's one little thing that we had going against each other. I had speed and no skill. He had skill and power. So we agreed to the following. I can't use my feet, and we both pull our punches. Okay, we're going to tell you where that went wrong. It went wrong with I can't use my feet. He had no intention of pulling his powers. We're 14. I didn't know that shit. I know how to pull punches because when you train in martial arts, they teach you that you spar differently than when you fight. But when you fight, you don't fight your training partner. You fight people on the streets. See, this is where my mind at 14 got that clusterfuck going on. So we're in the ring, and we want to get 3 rounds. I'm just going to give you the short version. We want to get 3 rounds. So for every one jab that I hit Corey, he hit me with a 3-piece. So if I jabbed him, it poof, 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 and he lit my ass up. He wasn't pulling his punches. Round ended, and I was like, look, dude, you need to pull them punches. I'm pulling my punches. I'm just bigger than you. Which, he was bigger than me. He wasn't pulling his punches. Regardless of what the fuck he said, he was not pulling his punches. See, as a martial artist, you know the difference between getting hit by a full-on punch or a full-on kick versus a pulled one. I can't say that about boxing because I'm not a boxer. I don't know how to box. I can box a little bit now, but I'm not good at it. In a boxing ring, I will get murdered. I ain't even gonna sit here and lie to y'all. I would get murdered. I know how to cover up, but I know how to kickbox because I'm mostly using my legs. I have had kickboxing training. Now, as far as boxing, I got hand speed. I got good coordination, probably not, but I can fight my way out of a wet paper bag with holes in it if necessary. So he's eating me up. Now, body shot, boom, boom, face. Body shot, boom, boom, face. So, like I said, every time I jabbed him, he hit me with a three-piece. It wasn't anything changing from round to round. When we got to like the last round, he hit me with something that really pissed me off. And about this time, my father, who was still alive, is working on his car. And he hit me a couple of more times. And that last hit, I said, that's it. You're not pulling your punches. I'm going to start using my feet. I'm going to fuck your shit up right now. And he hit me again. And I said, shh. And those boxing gloves that were locked on, tied on, they weren't taped. Our hands weren't taped. That shit flew to the ground. And I said, I'm going to fucking kill you now. Now we fight my fight. See, the lesson in that is don't fight your enemy's fight. Fight your fight. You can always talk your way into a fight. You can't always talk your way out. He was not pulling punches, and I was in the wrong. Now, I know you're thinking, why did you just say you were in the wrong? I go, because I was in the wrong. And this is where my dad comes in. He calls me by my government name and tells me don't make him call me twice. And so I shook my hand at Corey and I said, he just saved your life, motherfucker. And I walked on home. As I was going home, I said, every day I see you outside, though, I'm going to catch you. And I'm going to fuck your big ass up. You're just bigger than me. You beat me in this boxing bullshit. Now let's see how you fight in the streets. But before I could get the rest of that out, I heard a jet and my ass darted to the damn car. And my dad and I had a talk. He said, yeah, Jimmy, did you volunteer to get into that boxing match? Yes, I did. Was he pulling his punches? No, he was not. You know how to box? No, I do not. So why did you get into this boxing match? Because he had been picking on me for most of the summer, and I had to show him that I was actually tougher than I looked. See that thing about pride? That's how I got there. But I could have just took a grateful loss and learned from that. But I didn't. Every time I got hit, I was hawking the fuck out. I mean, every time he hit me, I was getting angrier and angrier and angrier. And it wasn't hurting me. It was just pissing me off. And it was pissing him off because try as he may, he was a good 5'5", 5'7", and I was a good 5 even in height. He outweighed me by about 60 pounds. No. But the harder he hit me, the easier it was for me to take the blow. Because I've been in enough fights to know how to survive a fight. Plus I'm wearing gloves. So every time he jabbed me in the face, I'd rock my head back and catch me in the chin, and then just lock my head up. Then when he hit me in the body, his body shots wasn't hurting me as much as the head shots. And then he wouldn't stop hitting me as hard as he could. He was trying to knock me out. He was literally trying to knock me out to shut me up about my martial arts shit. When he seen that it couldn't be done, he knew he fucked up. About this time, I knew I fucked up because I was about to hurt this boy, and I won't play no damn role. Because I kept telling him, pull your punches, pull your punches. He wouldn't pull his punches. So I decided that I wasn't going to stop using my hands and start using my feet. I was going to use all 4 of my weapons against him, and nothing was going to stop me but an act of God, which was my father. Moral of the story is, again, do not fight your enemy's fight. Fight your fight. Make them fight your fight. So again, getting hit really hard can start a fight when you are in a sparring match. That was a boxing match, and I was getting my ass handed to me. On the backside of that, my dad decided that I would be going to my aunt's house every day for the rest of the summer so that I wouldn't beat up Corey or get shot by the guy on the 10 speed. So that's how that worked out. Years down the road, I started taking Taekwondo. And I had a guy, I can't remember his name, he's a white cat. And we were almost equally matched, only he had a belt and I didn't. Which kind of pissed off Master Ennis. It's like, how are you the only person here who can spar like a champion but can't get a belt? And I said, because I wasn't taught kairos. in every martial art that I've ever been in, I was taught how to fight. I wasn't taught katas. I still can't do a kata today at 48. And so I struggle with katas. I will struggle with katas until I breathe my last breath. But once that fight starts, it's like the kata's there, but it's in full fight mode. So we're sparring, and one time he hit me in the bread basket, and that's the only time I've ever been kicked hard enough to go down. And I went down as he kicked me in the fucking stomach really fucking hard. I was like, dude, don't do that shit no more. So when he tried to do it again, I punched his leg, which I wasn't supposed to do because it was Taekwondo and not a street fight. But he went for a front kick, so he went like this, and I punched him here, and I was boom. I said, dude, and I had to do push-ups, but it escalated to where I had to do push-ups and he didn't, because the sensei saw that. He didn't see everything else, and we were cool after that. And I was like, dude, you gotta pull them kicks, man, because if you kick me hard again, I'ma hurt you. And he was really relying on that belt that he had, and that's why I said the belt system is bullshit. But anyway, moving on. So now we talk about the sparring guy from New York, which I lost to, and which certain members of my family who've never taken martial arts wouldn't let me live it down. So, long time ago, this guy from New York who became an ISK champion but wouldn't fight me, he was one of my cousin's best friends. So he came from New York and he knew karate. And they basically got him because my cousins used to threaten me, brandish firearms, and tell me how they was going to whoop my ass and all this. And I said, I'm going to tell you how this works. You might whoop my ass all together. But see, y'all come to my mama's house every day. One way or another, if I find out where you live, I'm going to take you all out one at a time. That never had a chance to happen because other things happened and eventually they all grew up and started leaving me alone. But then when my cousin passed away, this asshole, who I'm going to go backwards, this asshole wanted to fight me after that. But when we had the sparring match, it was 3 rules. And the rules was really simple. No kicking to the testicles, no eye gouging, no illegal blows, and we pull our punches and kicks so that no one gets hurt because it's a sparring match, you know. And this dude took me down with the same trick twice in the first 5 minutes of the match. So what he did was he woke up the sleeping dragon, and when he tried it the 3rd time, I caught his foot and swept his foot, got him down, let him get up. We continued on to another round. I got him down again. Then everybody on my family and everybody was cheering this guy on to beat my ass, try to take me down a notch. But see, what happened was all they did was bring up the fire when I lost the sparring match. So I lost the sparring match. Everybody that was on the porch, yeah, you got him, yeah. And these guys are supposed to be kin to me. But they're cheering on his friend. It's all good. I'm okay with that. It did not give me emotional damage. What it did was it fueled my fire to reevaluate my training. And again, what it did was it woke up a sleeping dragon. So the very next day, I was back. And this fucker would not fucking fight me. The very next day after that, I was back again. None of my family members were around, so if he would have lost, they would have never known, because I wouldn't have told anybody. I would have just kept a smile on my face. Anyway, for about a week and a half, I hounded this dude. I go to work my 3 jobs. I go home. I take a shower. I come on down here to Rougemont to fight this fella. This fella would not fight me for shit. Would not fight me. Flown back off to New York. My cousin dies. Now, mind you, I just told y'all that all my cousins used to brandish guns. He didn't say shit to them. I was at work when my cousin was shot, so he targeted me. He literally targeted me at Pilgrim Baptist Church, and he started all this bullshit. I will fuck you up this, I will fuck you up. Mind you, we're in the church, and he's cussing me out and all kinds of shit, and I said, okay, first and foremost, I'm like the Highlander. I'm not going to fight anybody on holy ground that I know of. I might fight you on holy ground if it's a graveyard. Plus, I always want to have a fight scene in the graveyard. But in real life, I'm not going to fight you in the church. I will fight you in the graveyard, because that means I don't have to work that hard to bury your ass. But anyway, so he's talking all this shit in the church. I said, okay, you already know where I live. Bring your ass on down to Rougemont. I'll be waiting. So I came home, washed all the fucking Church smell off me. Jumped into a pair of nylon parachute type pants and a t-shirt. I said, well, if you're going to fuck me up, you're going to fuck up these clothes. He ain't going to fuck up my good clothes. So I pulled out a chair and I sat there from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. All that shit that he talked in the church, he left right behind me. So they assumed that he was coming here to fight me. He never showed up. I caught up with my cousins and them, and I said, so where's the guy that ran all that shit at the church? I've been sitting here waiting to fight this dude. Oh, he went back to New York. It's like, what the fuck you mean he went back to New York? He talked all that fucking shit about how he's going to beat my ass. Beat my ass this, beat my ass that. But he never showed up. He never came back. He never showed up. And I hadn't seen him since. I really don't give a flying fuck because he became an ISK kickboxing champion, where every time I've ever applied for any martial art promotion, I was always told I was too small. Go away. Get your weight up. By the time the UFC got my weight class, I belonged to Uncle Sam. And now I have no hip. Anyway, more of the story is, fight your fight, not other people's fight. Now, I left something off, so let me go and get that. When I lost the sparring match with the guy, and I kept coming after him, I had a few cousins, not the same ones that he knew, but other cousins that always was making fun of me because I lost the sparring match. They kept on making fun of me. And it's like, that's why that dude from New York beat your ass. That's why that dude from New York beat your ass. He beat your ass. So I cracked with a smile on my face. I said, okay, he won that sparring match. He beat my ass. Let's see you try it. After that, everybody shut the fuck up. I also left off some other shit, so I'm going to go ahead and bring that up now in this video. I have a younger brother, and my cousin who passed had a nephew. And they always thought that they could beat my ass. You know, so that same cousin who passed away pulled the gun on me twice because of my younger brother and his nephew. So we're avid wrestling fans around here. Well, at least I am. Anyway, so my younger brother said I couldn't powerbomb him. So I powerbombed him. My cousin, whose nephew, also my cousin, said that I couldn't powerbomb him. He was a butterball. Big old plump little boy. So I powerbombed his fat ass too. Both of those little fuckers ran up the street and got my cousin who passed by his life being taken from him. And he come running down the street with a 44 Magnum in his hand, well, it's in his pants or whatever. He pulls it out, says, why you power bombing your brother and my nephew? You think you're a bad motherfucker? And then he pulled the gun out. Now, don't ever do this, but I did it. I walked it up to the barrel and said, go ahead, pull the fucking trigger. You can't beat me. They couldn't beat me. So since you're such a badass, this is the only way you can beat me. Pull the fucking trigger. I've got nothing to lose. And when you sitting behind bars, if they snitch on you, when they find my brains all over the place, when you sitting back there, every time you close your eyes, you're going to see my face. There's going to be a big smile on there because, one, you set me free. And two, whatever you think of for the rest of your life, while you're sitting either in prison and when you go to hell, you're still going to see my face and you're going to know you couldn't whoop my ass. On my worst fucking day, you had to shoot me. Week later, same fucking shit, only this time, I tombstone power drove my brother, and I tombstone power drove the same fat butterball ass cousin. They ran back up the street, and he came down with a 357 Magnum. Deja vu, motherfucker. I walked right up to the barrel, put it to my head, said, go ahead, open fire. See, the thing about not being loved by people, you really don't give a shit if anybody's going to miss you or not. You don't. And at that point in my life, I was starting a really bad journey. Not with drugs or any of that shit, just emotional damage. And I didn't give a fuck. I literally didn't give a fuck. Would I tell anybody to do that? Fuck no. But I did it. So, to end the story, that same cousin and brother, after my cousin got buried, decided that they were going to pull a gun out on me one last time. Coming home, I don't know where the hell I'm coming from. I was walking home. And so the cousin who was his nephew pulled a 45 on me. Might have been a 9. They both kind of look the same. A gun is a gun, and when someone puts a gun on you, regardless of what the gun looks like, you're focused on that barrel. So get the barrel, it's pointed right at my chest. We roughly about the same size. He's still a butterball. He got this gun out, and he talks about how he's going to kill me. And I look at him, scared as shit. My leg is shaking. I'm like, go ahead. I ain't got nothing to lose. I don't have children. I don't have a wife. No one's gonna fucking miss me. But know this, you can't beat my ass. So my brother and his 2 cousins, which are other 2 cousins, they set off a cherry bomb. And I thought my cousin shot me, which my legs started shaking. I didn't shit on myself. I didn't have any shit to shit on myself because I had shitted earlier that day. And I had nothing else to eat, so there was nothing in my guts. So I'm doing one of these numbers. There's no entry wound. There's no exit wound. I'm still breathing. And they fucked up. Because I like fighting. If I'm good at anything on this planet, fighting is it. And I went to go in for the kill for this motherfucker. It's not loaded, as they come running around the corner. It was a cherry bomb. It's a joke. I said, you joke with a motherfucker who can't fight. Don't joke with a motherfucker that's only knowing one thing in life, and that's fighting. So after that, they never fuck with me no more. Because I wasn't afraid to die. I'm still not afraid to die. I might be afraid of where I'm going in the afterlife, whether it be up top or down the bottom. But as far as dying, it's just a body. We're all going to be leaving these things at one point in our lives. How you go is up to you. Don't make any stupid mistakes. You'll live to be a ripe old age. Make a lot of stupid mistakes or let pride get in your way. Pride come before a fall. But when you get your life taken from you, it's a permanent fall. Keep that in mind, y'all. Life is short. Try to live it. I never got the chance to live my life. I am alive, but I am not living. But we're changing that every day. I'm Echo Fan Grey Wolf. Thank you guys for dealing with me. This is Kung Fu Habit number 2. Be seeing me.